Hi, this is Mac from Mac Attack Gaming, bringing you another Hearthstone video. This one we're going to be looking at a Warlock and leveling the Warlock up. This particular video I'm going to be making a deck with just a lot of the pre-programmed cards, or a lot of the cards that I've gotten. Not with buying cards. Again, most of the cards that you're seeing here are ones that I've just earned playing. I haven't spent any money on this game. What I'm doing right now is taking a lot of the Warlock specific cards now, just to try them out. Now, with not buying a lot of cards, I don't have a lot of different type of neutral cards. I'm going to pick a couple. I think what I'm going for right now is more of a, as we can see from the Warlock, there's a lot of direct damage stuff to minions at least, and so I think we're going to go with. I know I'm going to go with the Leopard Knoll. Just because it does damage to the hero, direct damage, which I think is always a good thing. I always have to pick the Raptor because my son loves the Raptor. And also I like the Knife Thrower for this as well too, or the Knife Juggler, just because I think I'm going to have a lot of creatures since I only started with 14 cards. So I think the rest of my bulk of cards is going to be creatures, so the Knife Juggler would be good. Always get the Summoner as well too, as well as spell power, because a lot of these are direct damage spells either to the minions, and always good to get the Novice Engineer. Again, that's going to allow us to draw some more cards. Cards are always very important to play. I think we're going to go with the Raid Leader, just because, again, gives. I think we're going to have a lot of low-level minions, and so the +1 attack will be very helpful. So, looking at my cards, I don't have a lot of high-cost cards. I'm seeing that I'm down to 27 cards now, so I'm thinking I should probably pick some bigger creatures, because if I play anything big, again, we'll go with this extra spell power card in the Archmage. And probably the Sea Giant will be another good card as well, because I'm going to have a lot of minions, and so that'll reduce the cost of the card. And again, we need a little bit of. I always love the Stormwind Champion because of the +1/+1 it gives to additional minions. So just checking through everything, it seems like I have a good amount of cards, a lot of low-level cards. Probably this deck is going to be best played for, I want to say it's going to be best played, it's going to be very good for the early game. So we're going to go in and take a look at a game here and see when this deck is effective. I'm not going to show you all the games that I played this particular evening, but this first game is indicative of the first couple games I played, where there's not a lot of synergy against my opponent. Doesn't have a lot of synergy in their deck, and we'll see how that plays out with this first opponent here. And then I'll probably finish up the video by showing you what happens when you face a person who has synergy in their deck. I think I'm going to show you their Hunter or maybe a Rogue who I ended up playing with at the end. So our first opponent here does not have a lot of synergy. We are playing a Warlock. We're here in a mirror match deck, and you'll see the difference between the deck that has a lot of synergy in it, meaning it has a lot of cards that play off one another, and a deck that doesn't. So I'm going to get rid of the higher casting cost card. I'm still sort of getting the bugs worked out of my play, and so I think looking back on, I've pre-recorded this game. I actually lost all the audio to begin with, which is why I'm sort of recording over what I've already done. So looking at my cards, I think I'm going to drop the Taunt down first. It is a nice card to play. And then I think we'll take a look and see what our opponent does. See if he has the same Voidwalker card. Nope, doesn't look like he does. Got the either card draw advantage or the Knife Juggler. I'll drop the Knife Juggler down because I know my next turn I'll be able to drop either the Bear or the Novice Engineer and for a card advantage. So we'll see what our opponent has here. I always am wary of the Fairy Dragons, simply because I can't target it with my own spells and stuff like that. And he's going to play something else here. And his own Voidwalker comes out to block. And what I plan on putting down next is I'll put the taunt creature down. Well, I do have my own taunt, and I think I changed my mind with the spell power, because what that'll do it'll raise the amount of damage that all my spells do. So next turn, which will be, I think I'll have a good. Oh, deal damage to 4 minions, so he does see that possibility of coming through, and he takes care of my creature. And then he's got to take care of my taunt creature. He comes over and we do an even exchange. And then he does lose his own Voidwalker, which I think is a little bit of an error because I still get a free attack here. And so I'll put the taunt creature down to protect my juggler. My juggler will respond by knifing the Warlock opponent and doing 4 points of damage total. So unfortunately for him, he does have another taunt creature, good, so that he will be able to, and the Blood Imp, which I'm not really a big fan of the Blood Imp, just because it gives his creatures an additional +1 power. So we have draw a card, and we do have it for, and I luckily got the Knife Thrower, got rid of the Imp, and we'll get rid of the taunt creature, which was nice. And he decided that was enough. So as you can see, a lot of really good early game. I did get some decent spells and stuff like that. And as you see, as we win our first level, by hitting level 2, we do get an extra card, Corruption, which I will mix in a little later on when I retool the deck. Also, as you noticed, the nice thing about Hearthstone is you don't have to pay to go to the arena, which is an option. You could pay $1. I think it's $1.99, so a little less than $2 to go to the arena. Or you can do these simple quests for today. And as you can see, I'm getting pretty close to the ones that I think actually for this video I actually will make it over the amounts. So we'll watch one more deck because I think that was a little slow. And we'll watch this one, and then we'll watch one more game where I do not do so well here. So let's see, it's waiting for us to find an opponent here. And here we go. This one is not a mirror match if I remember correctly. This one is versus the Rogue. So again, looking at my cards, and I think for most of the games I got this night, I got to go first, which I don't think is the best bet. I like drawing having the low mana card come up because that's, I think, very helpful. This time I kept the Hellfire, which I haven't decided yet if it's a really good spell or not. I think it's good for decks that have like the Murloc Rush, and so you have a bunch of cards at one time. So looking at what we have now, he does 1 point of damage to me. And so I'm really reluctant to throw the Juggler out there right now because I know he can potentially just kill him fairly quickly with any type of spell. So I sort of hold on to it for a little while. I still think I do end up losing it to the Rogue. I think it was a misplay on my part. We'll notice here in just a couple moments. So again, yep, he'll throw down the Elven Archer. And it's a good thing I didn't have that card out because I know just from those 2 points there I would lose him. So do I decide to play him, or do I just decide to look for a card? Let's see, what do I remember I do? Let's see, I think I just look for a card. So Novice Engineer, I think I will probably play her or the Knife Juggler next turn. So I have a card advantage on the Rogue right now, though he can come over and tap me for 2 points of damage. One from the Rogue himself and one from the Elven Archer. There's that. Comes over and tags me. There we are. So deciding I need to get my Juggler out, I'm going to toss down my Taunt creature. So he has to attack the bear. So, and I remember he destroys the creature with something this particular turn. I remember because my bear didn't last very long. Let's see what he does. 2 damage to an enemy minion. And then I think he takes care of the bear with... Let's see... Yep, and Shiv. He does with it very well. He can come across and tag me for 2 points of damage again. 1 from himself. Oh, he's going to throw on the weapon. Gives himself 4 points of damage, so it looks like I'm pretty much in trouble now. I'm down 10 health. Okay, going into round 4. He's done quite a considerable amount of damage toward me. Looking to see what we can do. I think I dropped the Novice Engineer down because we're looking for some more card advantage. Or the Succumbus, which I'm always going to mispronounce. And I decided to get those 2 cards down to get 2 creatures into play. Oh, and then I have to throw the Knife Juggler in because that card caused me to discard one, and I lost my card advantage. I lost my card draw. So it's looking pretty good for me right now. Though I think, like I said, he's going to take care and try to get rid of that Knife Juggler pretty quickly because it will do a fair amount of damage because I'll have another Raid Leader to throw down. So he's trying to decide here what to do, which of my 2 characters is a little bit more... Yep, there we go. Boom, and then he comes over across, gets rid of the Knife Juggler. And I believe I'm going to throw down the Raid Leader and give myself a little bit more damage and come across and tag him for 5 and cut his life lead in half. And I think I don't want to, since I'm down so far in life, I don't want to chance it just yet. And I have some decent cards in my hand. I have 2 Shadow Bolts. So I'm thinking whatever he has, I can take care of. And now he comes over and tags. And I think this was sort of a mistake on his part. He hits me for 5 points of damage. And then he kills my creature. And I go back and look at that, and yeah, I don't think he did a wise use of his spell. I think he could have just killed it off with that, his minion, versus coming over and tagging himself. But seeing that we have a Raid Leader there, I drop down and for a little bit more spell power, and then I also drop down my Gnome here as well too. And go across and tag him for 2. Now I think his best option here is to probably trade with my Raid Leader so that his Raid Leader, so that I lose the extra +1 damage, because otherwise I'll do an extra +2 to him. He thinks he's fine with the Lord of the Arena coming down, but as you'll see in a moment, my Shadow Bolt will easily deal with them because my Gnome gives me a +1 to my Shadow ability. So I'll plop down my Shadow Bolt, kill his champ off, and draw a card for card advantage. And we have a pint-sized summoner, which we will instantly drop down because I know that'll help with my next draw. And then we'll tag him for a considerable amount of damage here. So we have the life lead now. He's only up by... I'm up by 9, so which is pretty good. And I have 2 great cards in my hand, Shadow Bolt, and if something really deadly comes along, I can throw down and clear the whole board. So I think that's looking pretty good. And I think at this point he is not in a good position right now. My Shadow Bolt again is going to help me take care of any... I was thinking at this point if he had any sort of taunt creature, I would take care of that. He comes in with a charge. He's going to kill my Raid Leader, I believe. Or he comes and takes care of my Summoner, that's right. So, takes care of my Raid Leader. Takes care... I wasn't... Well, he was just getting rid of extra damage right there. So it doesn't look too bad right now. I'm trying to remember what I did. I think I threw in the Archaeomancer. We'll do 4 points of damage. Oh, we'll trade and kill his Raid Leader. He's only has the 4. 2 plus it automatically does 2 to him as part of it. Come over and tag him. And we do 6 damage to any minion that he pulls out. So in a good position here. I think, yep, I'm going to take a life tap here and draw a card and just see what I get. And we have a taunt. So next turn, I think we're in good position. Again, we have a taunt, so his creature will have to attack the Voidwalker. And we have a Shadow Bolt, so if we need to, we can get rid of any taunt creatures he throws down, or if I want to get rid of that card that he has defending him, I can do that as well too. So we're in good position. He's got the Assassin's Blade. I was really a little nervous at this point. I was wondering if he was going to take out one of my Archmages, or what his plan was going to be. So, and I think, if I remember correctly, he uses his hero power to gives the dagger +4, and he comes over and tags me. He tags me for 4. And he is at a 6. And then I win the game here with Power Overwhelming, which basically is a +4 to my creature. He comes over and tags him for 8. That's the end of the game. So, as you can see, a lot of these previous decks that I fought against the thing I noticed is there wasn't a lot of synergy in them. There wasn't a lot of things keeping the cards together. So, with that said, I'm going to take a look at another game. We're going to end with a game where I didn't do so well, because I think that's important to see why that happens. And like I said, the funny thing is most of these games I was playing first here. So let's find a game. Let's see where I had a hard time winning. I did pretty good this past time. I think I went 4-2 or 5-2 or something along those lines. And I think we're going to end the game with a very close. Actually, we'll do this. We'll start with the game where I actually play versus a hunter. And I think you'll see sort of what happens when I play versus a deck that has a little bit more synergy than I do. Alright, so here we are with this. So our opponent this time is a hunter. This is a little farther up. This is after I've won a number of different games. So I'm more against a deck that I think has a little bit more synergy, has more cards available to it. And so as we're looking ahead here, a lot of lower casting cards. Get the gnome out right away. I feel pretty confident with the gnome there, because I know that gives us 2 damage. He responds in kind with dropping I think it's an Alpha Wolf, where he gets +1/+1 to his beast minions. And this hunter, I know this goes without saying, but when the hunter actually uses his power well, like in that his cards sort of build on each other, he actually has other beasts in his deck. I've seen a lot of hunter hands, mostly new players, that don't understand that they need to have other cards that sort of play off each other. And so, and I was really tempted to get rid of that Alpha Wolf, but I thought we'd tag him for 2 first and just see what other type of card we'd get. And I had my Drain Life and my Grizzly Bear, so I knew next turn I'd be able to have Taunt up and be able to defend against whatever creature he has. And then we have the Albeak Owl, and so as you can see, it was gone to a 3/1. He comes across and does a trade to get rid of my gnome, but as you can see, it still does 2 damage to him. I throw the taunt down, and we're going to tag him with the Knife Juggler. Still does 3 points of damage, so I'm feeling fairly confident now. We're up by 7 life. He does have a card advantage on me, though the cards I have in my hand are pretty decent. I have Drain Life, so I can get rid of a minion. I was a little worried at this point he was going to draw. He has 4 mana crystals, and this is one of the great things about a hunter. He has this particular card that can help clear the deck. He comes over and tags me for 2. Saw the Blood Elf Imp. I was really happy about that, and I dropped my, because he gives health, and so I was really happy to see that. So I felt pretty good right now at this point. I have 2 cards in my hand. I have a draw. I have the discard a random card, which she's pretty good for 2. And I have drain life. And he's got that buzzard in play, and that buzzard is a great card. In that every time you draw a beast, and again, he has a lot of beasts in his hand, which is great. I knew when I saw that other beast that's getting pumped up, I knew I had to get rid of him quite quickly. So what I'm going to do is actually drain life and take some of his life from him. So down to 1, I play 1, and I go across and tag him to get rid of him because I am really concerned with him going up. And then I play my Succumbus. I know I'm mispronouncing that terribly. And so I think we're looking okay right now. My next turn is I plan to go off and tag and trade with the buzzard to get rid of his card draw. And then he comes across and summons a boar, and I think he does get an extra card draw, and he does play a secret. Comes across, takes me for 2. Bad thing, he's got 3 cards in hand. I have none. I drop the engineering card down. And I have a Shadow Bolt, which I'm pretty happy with. I think we use that to get rid of the... And the bad thing is he kills off my... So I think for next time when he has a secret, I knew it was either going to be an explosive trap or it's going to be that type of card, so I should probably attack as soon as I can. Now I know that he can use both of his creatures to kill my 1 creature, but he plays a Grizzly Bear instead. He's going to come across and tag me for 3. And actually going to tag me for a little bit more. He tags me for 6. So I went from having a pretty good life lead to just being up by 3. So we're going to have card draw again, so I'm going to drop this down. Depending on what card I get, I'm going to take a look at... I need to get another card. And then I was really happy to see this particular card because I could get my Archmage out for 4 this next turn. So I was contemplating what to do because I was trying to think of what he would do. And I thought he would kill I thought I'd get rid of that taunt. So looking at what we have ahead, I was figuring that he would come across and do another 6 points of damage to me and I'd be down to 14. But that's not including the card, so he plays a Raptor. And what other card does he play this turn, or does he come across and tag me? And the Sea Giant. When I saw this, I knew I lost the game. But see, this is why it's very important to have a card like the Sea Giant in a deck like this where you have a bunch of multi-little creatures, because you can see how small the cost is. He comes across and gets rid of my summoner. I pretty much know at this point that the game is done and over with. And I think that's pretty much a good game there. He's going to come over and swack me pretty well. So as you can see, now my deck needs to have a little bit more tweaks in it. I'm thinking again needs some more draw card ability, and I've unlocked some. At this point, I've unlocked some more Warlock cards, and I still have, I think, about four more cards to unlock. And I think once I hit to that point, I'll be in a little better position to reply to decks like this that are made so well. And it's also to look at my deck too and see if I can have some different synergies or some sort of something that would sort of help. So when you're thinking of making a deck, just know that you can build a deck that can take on other people's decks pretty well, and you don't need to buy cards to do it. Like I said, I'm level 6 now. I did go up a level too. I got a new reward there. So let's Soulfire. I think that's a decent. That would have helped out if I would have gotten a couple of those. So, like I said, there's a lot of different cards now that I've gotten, and I was going to show you some of the new cards that I was thinking of taking out and putting in. So again, just sort of get your deck sort of synergy, so each card can sort of play off one another. That's one thing to look at. I want to say thank you again for looking at this video, and if you like, please subscribe, comment, and have fun playing, and we'll see you next time.